Hello, everyone, and welcome to another video of our series Conversation with Experts. My name is Masha. I am a partner manager here in the Google office in Singapore, and I work with web publishers and app developers, helping them monetize with Google solutions and increase their business and their revenue. Great to see everyone. This is one of a few videos that we've been doing recently, and I'm very excited to bring a new topic today, which we are going to discuss together with our colleagues from the Channel Partner Program. Thank you for joining. Welcome. I'll let you guys introduce yourself in just one moment. Before I do that, I just wanted to set a little bit of context of where this series is coming from and what are some of the goals that we're trying to achieve with it. We've heard from many of you, our dear publishers, that in addition to learning about product news, launches, best practices from the Google teams, you're also really benefiting from learning about the industry insights, best practices, examples from real life case studies, and other publishers like yourself. So thinking about how can we do this in a way that makes the most sense and brings the most insights to all of you, we've realized that we really need to partner with the participants from our channel partner program. As companies working in the region, knowing the publishers and working with very many of them across a wide range of value add services, ranging from ad monetization to user experience, analytics, technology, sales optimization, and many other things. The participants from the channel partner program are really great experts and the ones to share the most real life examples with our audience. So that's why we kicked off this series. The idea here is we're bringing you tips and tricks, best practices, real life case studies, and we try to tackle the topics that we hear are most top of mind for you. In today's video in particular, we're going to talk about a very exciting part, and I think many of you have heard us talk about this before. It's not a new priority, but it's still something that we see many of our publishers maybe are not 100% confident in, or have some questions, or understand the importance of it, but are struggling to take it to the next step in terms of implementation. So specifically, we're going to talk about the importance of mobile speed and how do you really make the most out of the mobile web experience. It's no surprise that so much of your traffic is now coming through different mobile devices, and the mobile experience is really taken on, especially in this part of the world. So it's really important that both your user experience key metrics and your business key metrics on the ad revenue side are optimized for this user journey. So in the next 30 minutes or so, we're going to pick our guest speakers' brains on what are some of the best practices and how to optimize for the best mobile web experience, both on the UX and on the ad revenue side. A few housekeeping things from my side just before I actually let our speakers talk about the most important part of this video. You will receive an email from us with the recording of this video. Just due to the time zones and everybody being located in different places, it was easier to do this as a recording, but we do encourage you to review the content, and you'll have a few resources linked in the video description. So definitely feel free to review those, as well as there's going to be more information on the two great companies that are joining us today, Genie and AdAsia. So you'll be able to see their menu of services, as well as have an opportunity to get in touch with them if you would like to collaborate more on this or any other topics that they cover. Do give us feedback. We love to hear from you. How are we doing? Is this type of format working for you? Is it adding value? Are there other formats you would like us to explore, or maybe other topics that we should cover in this series? There's going to be a quick feedback form, as always, in the video description as well. So please take a moment to share your thoughts with us. And I think on that note, I will finish the less interesting part, which is the introduction, and we can kick off with the actual content, which is why we're here today. So I want to start by asking our guest speakers today to please introduce themselves and the channel partner companies that they are representing today. Feel free to go ahead.
Hi, my name is Emily. I'm working at Asia as an optimization specialist. So my team have been optimizing the ad revenue and user experience for more than 700 across APAC. So Asia Holding is a technology company developing solutions in AI and advertising. So as part of the my group, Asia Holding provides integrated end-to-end solution for publisher with online advertising and site monetization needs to maximize returns through AI and explore publisher inventory with private marketplace.
Thank you, Emily. Kate, would you like to go next?
Hi, everyone. My name is Tate. I'm currently a business development at Genie International. So our company is a marketing technology business headquartered in Japan with branch offices in Vietnam, Indonesia, and Thailand. We offer our product and service to many countries across APAC region and beyond. So our specialization, basically, we optimize publishers' revenue through highly automated methods. We have in-house tools and added value service to support our partners, especially through Google products as a channel partner. So becoming a part of Google reseller program since 2011, we have had years of experience with Google products and service. We focus on all of our publishers who are validated under Google policies, and our range of publishers are very diversifying from big to small ones, from Google experts to those who aren't very familiar with Google products.
Thank you very much. Thank you both for the intros. I think the audience for this video is also quite diverse. So it's great to have regional expertise, product and industry expertise. Let's dive into this. We did prepare a few questions, so I'm just gonna be the moderator here, but really the floor is all yours. Without further ado, I wanted to start by asking you to share with us a little bit more about, what is mobile speed? Like, why do we talk about it? What does it really mean? And why is it important in terms of maintaining steady and increasing ad revenue with products such as AdSense or Google Ad Manager? And if you can also share from your experience, what is good mobile speed? What is suboptimal? We'd love to start with that, please.
Yes. Can you go to the next slide?
Yes.
Yeah. So we are only users. So we are the publisher, we are GCP, but we are also the users. And I understand that we all want everything to be fast and quickly. Like we want to quickly pay a bill on a finance website, or we want the content to show up immediately after we click on a link to an article. So we want everything to be quickly. And if there is too much friction, we will abandon the website and go to another website. And from that, we understand that the page speed is very important. And why mobile page speed is important is because now for most of the website, more than 50% of the traffic is coming from mobile. And more than 50% of the users would not make a purchase if the site takes too long to load. So that's why it's very important. And that's why we need to care about the page speed. So what is mobile page speed? So I think you already understand. So the definition is that mobile page speed refers to how fast your website load on mobile. When someone go to the URLs, your domains, or click on a link and direct to your website. So why we know why it's important and what are the benefits of improving your page speed. So first, of course, it will make your page load faster. And what will happen if your page load faster? It will have to increase your ranking, higher ranking. So because page speed is now one of the metric of Google ranking, so it will have to increase your ranking. And higher ranking also means that there will be more organic traffic come to your website. It means that you will increase your traffic. And when your traffic increase, it also means that you will have more impressions and more revenue. And on the other side, mobile page speed, when you increase your page speed, it also improves your user experience. Your user will feel more comfortable when they go to your website. they see everything very quickly and fast. They feel comfortable, and they might stay longer on your website. Increase the average sections time, and also increase the impressions. And faster page speed also increase the visibility because on the ad can show up when the user's on the page, and that also increase the CPM.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you for this. I think all of us, as you said, are users. So as users, we know exactly what it means to have a smile like on the picture on the slide before, or be frowning a little bit on the page about the page not loading. Please continue. Sorry.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think here we wanted to pick your brain. And that is something that's quite important because I think it's clear that the user experience in the mobile space is key, but who really faces this challenge the most? And therefore, who would benefit from focusing on mobile speed the most? I think that's something we get as a question from our publishers, which is very fair. So if you could, from your experience, share what are those insights?
Yeah. So actually, I think that all the publishers that have low page speed will face the challenge. But in the market, there will be some publishers need to care about the page speed more than other publishers. That is like the website. First is a website that have high traffic from search. So as I mentioned before, as page speed is a metric of your ranking. So your page speed will affect your ranking and will affect your organic search traffic. So if your website have a lot of traffic coming from search, you really need to care about your page speed. So if you improve your page speed, as I mentioned before, it will help to increase the ranking. So it's a benefit for you when you try to improve your page speed and also increase your search traffic. And the next type of website is the e-commerce site. So as I mentioned that more than 50% of users will not make a web purchase if the site takes too long to load. So for e-commerce site, if we can improve the page speed, we can increase the CTR because the users can see the product quickly, and they can like make the decision quickly. And the third type of publisher that is the publisher are in high competitive categories. So we know that the categories like news, beauty, reviews, there are a lot of websites out there, and the users they have a lot of options. So if when they go to those websites and the content load faster than your website, they would rather to go to those websites, right? So in this high competitive category, page speed is very important for the publisher to keep the users keep coming back. And it's also like other benefit, also increase your ranking and increase your search traffic.
Yeah, absolutely. I would echo especially the last point, and I think you've articulated it extremely well. When there is a lot of choice, users will have their options, and their option will their final option will end up being the one that gives them the best user experience. And if it's on mobile, then speed would definitely be a big part of that. Thank you for this. I think that was a great context setting. So I'm sure at this point our audience is eager to know, okay, we understand it's important, but what do we actually do next? So what are some of the tools, tactics, or ways that one can try and improve their mobile speed?
So I think for now we have a lot of tools and technologies out there to improve page speed. So first, before we improve it, we need to know where we are, like how fast is our speed, how fast is our website. So we need the tools to measure that. So I think the first one, Google Page Speed Insight, is very popular tools for everyone. And it's a free tool so that you can measure your website. So that's the first one. And the next one is AMP. So AMP also helps to increase your page speed. It will make your website load smoothly and instantaneously. And the third tool in PWA, Progressive Web App, that will give your website an app-like user experience. So the user will feel like they are using an app. And the third one is the ad balance function in Google AdSense. So we can go more deeper on these tools in the next slides.
Please.
Yes, so Google PageSpeed Insight. So here, this tool will give you the score of your PageSpeed on mobile and desktop also. It will point out the problem that caused your low PageSpeed. And it also gives you the suggestion, which is the opportunities that you can take to improve your PageSpeed. And not only just opportunities, they also have a link to the guideline how you can actually do it. And it's quite technical knowledge. And actually, you can give this report to your tech team, and your tech team can look at the info and can execute by themselves. And next is AMP. So I think everyone knows about AMP, but the thing is that how to implement AMP is still a big problem to some publisher. So first, let's talk about AMP. So AMP is an open source library, and that it have you to create web pages that are smooth and look very quick. So why AMP very fast? AMP fast because it reduces the code on your website. It like simplify the code on your website, and it your website code will follow a standard. So there will be no custom JavaScript on your website. On the JavaScript would be the AMP element. So this part is quite technique. So in a simple way, AMP will make your website look more clean, and the code is more simple that have to increase your page speed. And here are some case study from Google that see the result on AMP. So some publisher can see increase on time spent on AMP. So this time spent on AMP can go up to 2 times higher than the time spent on the normal version. And also it can increase the CTR, the sales conversion with AMP by 20%. This for an e-commerce website case study. And next is PWA, is a progressive web app. So it's a web app that use modern web capabilities, and it will deliver an app-like experience. So your users will feel like they are using an app. It's actually just a web app, and it's very reliable. So it loads instantly, and sometimes you can even read the content when you are offline. So like if your Wi-Fi connection is disconnected, it's okay, you can still see the content. And it's very fast. It responds quickly to the user interactions, and it's very engaging because it makes you feel like you are using an app. Ad balance function. So in Google AdSense, you can find this function. And with this function, you can reduce the number of impressions, the number of ads on your website, but you still keep the same revenue. So in this screenshot, this is an example that you reduce the number of ads to 60%, but you still can keep 97% of the estimated revenue. So the less ads showing on your website also have to increase the loading speed of your website. And it also improves the user experience because the user will not see the ad all the time and everywhere. But you still have the same kind of revenue. And when the user experience is improved, you may have longer time, the user may have longer time on the website. And it's also a way to have you increase more impression and more revenue.
Kate, over to you.
Yeah, so yeah, that was like a pretty big picture of how different tools can help you improve mobile speed. Yeah, like already mentioned, there are many like useful tools, or publisher can simply go to Google page speed insight in order to get their mobile speed score, and learn how they can improve, and what they can fix in order to improve the user experience. So But to our perspective, AMP is like the most advanced tool that publishers can use. So the principal advantages of sites or web pages changing to accelerated mobile space are basically improved loading speed, increase their ad views, reduce the loading time, low bounce rate, and all of this will in turn improve the user experience. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for this. I think we spoke probably about AMP the most. So kind of following the same logic of getting, from most general to most specific, if you could talk about different ways of implementing AMP, that I think that would be helpful for this audience.
Yes. Here we have some slide for how to set up AMP on WordPress. So I understand that there are a lot of publishers that are using customized CMS, but I cannot give a guideline for different type of CMS. But I understand that there are also a lot of publisher is using WordPress. And I think with WordPress, it's quite easy for publisher to implement AMP. So we already have a lot of publisher using AMP to implement, using WordPress to implement AMP, and we are seeing very good results. So today we would like to share how to implement AMP on WordPress. So there are 5 steps here. So the first one is install AMP plugin. So actually for AMP, for WordPress, we already have some AMP plugins out there. There are some plugins that you have to pay the fee, and some free AMP plugin, like the AMP plugin from Google. And the second thing is, if you use the plugin AMP from Google, you can upgrade it into the pair or the native mode, which I will go more deeper in the next slide. And the third step is to validate your URLs, because the current code cannot be like aligned with all the AMP requirements. So you need to validate your URLs to fix all the errors and to align with the AMP requirement. And the fourth step is to fix the error notifications. And the fifth step is to add Google Analytics tracking code so that you can track your traffic after implementing AMP. So first step is to implement AMP. So I think that to install AMP plugin is quite easy for everyone that using WordPress. The first one, you need to go to plugin and click on add new, and then you search for AMP, and then you will see the plugin AMP look like this. This one is a product from Google, so you can click on install now, and then you can choose activate. So when you click activate the plugin, your website will activate the AMP version in the classic mode. So what is the classic mode? There are 3 modes on the AMP plugin: the classic mode, and the native, and the pair mode. So for classic, your website will look very basic. It will look exactly like in the screenshot, with image and title and the content like that. There will be no menu or a logo. So it's very basic. So actually, I think that to improve the user experience, we also need to pay attention on the layout, on the design. So the classic one is too simple. It might affect your user experience. So that's why we would recommend to move your mode into pair or native. It will make your website look, the AMP version look more like your normal version. And after you change it to pair or native mode, you can click on Save Change. And then we will go to the first step, is to validate your URLs. So now your website code is still having a lot of CSS and JavaScript that are not aligned to AMP standard. So you can see all the arrows appear here, and you have some option is to accept the arrows or to reject the arrow. So first, you need to fix the arrow that's showing here. And if you cannot fix your error, you can click on Accept Errors. Accept Errors mean that this URL will still show the AMP version. However, the code that code will be removed from the website. For example, if you have a function on a website, that function will be removed because you couldn't fix it to align with the AMP standard. So that is what will happen. And if you click on Recheck the error, that URL will not show the AMP version anymore because you don't want to fix it, or you don't want, and you also don't want to remove it. So it will not show the AMP version. So I think I already, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Go to the next slide.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all the errors. And if you see any errors notification, it's better that you can fix on the errors so that all of your URLs can be validated and showing the AMP version. And the final step is that is to implement the tracking code. So I think if you already do it for the normal version, it's also very easy for you to do for the AMP version. So you go to AMP Analytic, and then you add the code into the blank space here. Yeah. You can go to the next slide. Yeah. Yeah, you copy the GA tracking ID, and then yeah, you put it in WordPress. In the next slide. Yeah, just like this. So you put the ID in, and you just need to click Save. Yeah. So we can see that it's only 5 steps, but there will be a lot of things happen on the way. That there will be a lot of errors, and we see some problem that if your website have too many like custom JavaScript, it would be hard for you to convert from the normal version to the AMP version. And in this case, we normally will recommend the publisher to create another version for AMP. Like you would design it from the beginning for the AMP instead of converting the normal version for the AMP. So you can start with the classic mode, and then you add the element. Like you want to add the sticky menu, you will use the element encoding to build the sticky menu instead of trying to convert from the mobile version to the AMP version. Yeah.
Thank you for this, very detailed. I believe, Kate, you have interesting and insightful examples from your side as well. So we can dive into that.
Okay, so as presented by AdAsia, there are many implementation methods for AMP. However, we feel like there are certain difficulties in some of the methods that pubs may face if, like, for example, like through a WordPress plugin, or it like some of the issues could be like technical difficulties, or like limited tech resources, or like they don't have enough knowledge about certain measurements. So that's why Genie offer AMP solutions for our pubs. And these solutions include auto conversion, layout A/B testing, and effective evaluation. Can you move the things? Yes. So with auto conversion, we can automatically convert HTML pages into AMP pages with almost identical layout as the original one. This is extremely important to compare the ad revenue uplift in an apple-to-apple comparison manner. So even when publisher add new pages, it's automatically converted to AMP pages. For A/B testing, we can further optimize ad revenue by automatically comparing each layout patterns. And finally, for effective evaluation, once the page is converted to AMP, we show each important metrics to probably evaluate its effectiveness. We can keep showing RPM of original HTML page and AMP page as well.
Thank you. And I I think you have a case study, which is also something that's highly requested. So if you could talk through this example, that'd be great.
Yeah, so this is one of a case study we've conducted on one of our sites. This is an example of a new site result from SEO, and our result shows 292% of ad request CPM uplift and 92% coverage uplift, and it show twice revenue on AMP pages. So our solutions helps enabling AMP for strategic pages. We provide the user first AMP experience across multiple pages, and as well as other ad format like AMP ad format. Yeah.
Thank you for this. Thank you both. I think I very much appreciate the fact that you've covered different ways of doing this. And I think, AMP is an open source technology, so there is multiple ways that it can be adopted. I think the most important is for the publisher to find what is the right solution for them, depending on their website type, depending on their the resources that they have at the moment. So one of the goals we hope we can achieve with these videos and other initiatives we're doing around education on mobile speed is just to share more insights into the different ways of approaching mobile speed improvement, be it via AMP implementation with a plugin or working with an expert in the market, or doing actually both. Oftentimes, much more successful implementations do happen when you have an expert team helping you, even with the plugin, because as Emily called out, there's quite a lot of errors that can come up if you do have custom JavaScripts and whatnot. So thank you both for covering a wide range of how the scenarios can go. I know that if we don't talk about monetization with AMP, this video will not be as effective as it should be, and definitely would not speak to the audience. So I want to make sure we cover the monetization aspect of this whole story. So if you could share a bit more, like how do you make AMP and ad revenue work together in a way that is optimizing for the publisher's return?
So just like the normal version, actually AMP support a lot of type of ad. So you can see here at the type of ad that AMP can support. So we have banner ad, sticky ad at the bottom, or flying carpet, or promoted content, or video ads. So the thing is, there are a lot of type of ads, but actually each ad demands will have their own policy. For example, Google Exchange and Google AdSense have their own policy to implement ad. So not all the type ad are available or like allow on own ad demands. So actually, for some demands, you can use this type of ad. For example, like sticky ad, you can use with Exchange or use with AdSense. However, for flying carpet, you can use with another demands. So you can vary the demands and the ad format on your website to increase your revenue. And about the ad position, so we see that actually the first rectangle ad on the first viewport is one of the highest revenue in the left side. You can see that. However, we would recommend to put the user experience first before the revenue. So we would recommend to use a leaderboard on top and another rectangle ad right above, right below the fold. So it will make the user feel more comfortable instead of like it will make them feel more comfortable, because if you put a rectangle on right the first viewport, when the user enter your website, they will see a big ad, and it's not good for their user experience. And the best one is still in the first viewport. There is no ad, but in the middle of the article and in the below the fold, you put rectangle ad. That would be best for your user experience. And then the ad size on AMP. So we would recommend rectangle size, because rectangle size have best performance on mobile and on AMP as from our experience. So the common size is 300 MB 250 and 336 MB 280. However, if you use AdSense, you can use responsive size, which I believe have very good CTR and have very good CPM. And for the leaderboard position, you can consider smaller size like 220, 100, or 220, 50. And if you are using GEM, you can use this type of report to see how is the performance on AMP. So you can go to AdSense historical and filter the inventory tabs in AMP so that you can see the performance on AMP. And if you want to compare this one unit on AMP and on normal version, you can filter, you can use the dimension, a unit, and inventory type so that you can see one a unit, but on AMP and a normal version. So here is one of our case study. So one of our sports sites in Vietnam is using AMP, and we can see the difference in the performance of AMP and on the normal version. So first is about the CPM. So you can see that the AMP version for the same position have higher CPM by 22%, and the fill rate is also a bit higher by 11%. And the metrics that got improved the most is the CTR. So the CTR is actually 4 times higher on AMP for the same position. So this is actually a big improvement in the performance. However, from our experience, not all the unit converted to AMP will have better performance on AMP. Actually, there will be some positions that have better performance on the normal version. That's why we need to compare the same position instead of comparing the whole CPM or the whole fill rate of AMP and normal version. That would be not fair for the both version. Yeah. So so here is our sharing about how to monetize and what is the result we see recently.
Thank you for this. I think before we wrap up, one of the things, we touched on it in the beginning a little bit, but now that we've also talked about monetization, I kind of wanted to come back to this. So who would be benefiting the most from AMP? Not, also in light of monetization. I think this is more of a discussion slide for us. But I'd love to hear, from both of you, from your experience with the publishers in Southeast Asia, what are the types of publishers that benefit the most from a technology like AMP?
From my experience, I see that the publisher that have low page speed on mobile will have better performance on them. So actually, when you have very good page speed and everything very organized on your mobile version, so when you move to AMP, you will not see much difference because the user on your website already very fast, and it's quite the same experience for the user. So you may not see a lot of uplift. But if your mobile version is having very low page speed, you can try AMP because AMP will be much faster and you can see the difference more clear. And also, if you have a lot of organic search traffic, it's also very good for you to try AMP because AMP is very effective and also have you increase your ranking. So you not only see the difference between the AMP version and the normal version, but you can also see the improvement in your organic search.
Thank you. Kate, from your side, any insights on that?
Yeah, so we already see all the benefits from AMP, and we basically believe that all publishers would benefit from speed improvement because as shown before, mobile devices are very popular these days. So the faster mobile experiences are for users, the more engaged visitors or the higher conversion rates that publisher would get. So so better mobile speed means better chance for user to see our arts and interact and engage with them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think from our side, definitely echoing these observations. I think when it comes to mobile web, it's probably one area where the very good mix between user experience and ad revenue is very, very important. And one follows the other, which is great because in all of the examples that you've talked about and the best practices, I think user experience was at the core of it. And then the ad monetization best practices built on user experiences that are really putting the user first. So that's definitely something that we would encourage to focus on. And it's also a very long term and a much more sustainable strategy in terms of improving the revenue flow coming from ads. I think this is the content from us for today. Unless there's any last minute thoughts or suggestions from the speakers, feel free to jump in. Otherwise, I just want to take a moment and thank again. We had two great partners join us. So AdAsia, and we'll have the details on the more better outlined view of the menu of services for each of them. So thank you, AdAsia, and thank you, Jeannie, for joining us today and taking the time to do this video. I think this is something that we hope our publishers find useful, and we will continue. Dear publishers, we're looking for inspiration on the next topics. I think we've covered a few already, but there is so much more to talk about. So give us feedback. Let us know what else would be useful. Format, topic-wise, we really want to make this value add for you. Thank you for everybody who took the time to watch this video until the end. We're almost done. I'll just remind that we'll share this by email with the resources that are relevant to the contact details for the two companies, as well as a feedback form where we'd love to hear from you.
Thank you, Masha. Thanks for having us here.
Our pleasure. Thank you. Thanks so much. And dear publishers, we'll see you in the next videos. So watch out for emails from us on that. Thank you very much. And happy mobile web optimization to everyone.